Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I wanted to do a quick video. Sorry for missing last week, but I'm back. And we are doing something for brows. It's getting a little bit out of control and it's lockdown season, so I think generally hairdressers are closed and beauty salons are closed and wax studios are closed and everything is closed when it comes to maintaining the hair. So we have to help ourselves. I'm actually cutting my own hair. I haven't cut it in a couple of weeks. I'll actually need to go and do that soon. But before we start, let me just eat. This is one of the things that I actually missed when I was in America. It's Yogurette. It's German candy. It's like chocolate filled with yogurt and strawberries.
見てるだけで胸焼けが
And I actually can afford to have one of those today because I actually did some workout today outside. I'm not a jogger and I actually went jogging and I survived. So when it comes to eyebrows, there is many different ways of how to maintain them and then also to fill them in and everything. So obviously this is just how I do it. That's what I want to do today. I want to show you how I actually groom my brows and then also fill them in. So if you want to see what I do, keep watching. Okay, I zoomed you guys a little closer. I have this since years now. My husband actually wants me to check it out. Anybody knows what this is? It's underneath the skin. It doesn't bother me. It's not itchy. It's just red. So if you're bothered by that, look somewhere else.
Look over there!
Where?
So what I actually do first is I go in with a cream colored pencil and I map out where I want my hair to tweeze away. So the first thing you want to do is to put that pencil next to your nose, and pretty much this is where your brow should start. So right in this area. So do this little line and you can tell that everything pretty much going to the center needs to be tweezed away. Now when I put this on the outer corner here, this is where my brow needs to end later on. So anything on this part of my face needs to be tweezed, okay? And then what I actually like to do is take a little spoolie, brush them through, so I have them going into the direction that I want to. And if you think about the brow, we have 2/3 and 1/3. So the 2/3 goes to the arch and then 1/3 goes to the wing, to the arrow, to the tip. And the 2/3 should be about the same thickness going all the way through. So it shouldn't start really thick and then goes much thinner in a traditional way. Obviously you can customize it to your liking. Because I already kind of know where my shape or how my shape goes, I then just take this pencil and draw, and you can see it draws on the hair, so it also gives me an idea of how it will look like if I tweeze all of this away, because obviously it lightens it. And then also on top here, yeah, I think this is roughly a shape that I can live with. I don't have hair up here, I don't know why it's so weird. So next you take your favorite pair of tweezers. Those are some that I have. I have the Tweezerman tweezers, a classic one from MAC, one from Bobbi Brown. They all are pretty good. Tweezerman tweezers is like my first love affair that I have, and I actually bought this tweezers, I don't want to lie, but probably 8 years ago, and I still have it. So it's a good brand. So now I take my mirror really up close, like this. No, not quite that close, but close enough so I can see what I do. Alright, so now you want to pull out the hair in the direction of how they grow. So like here, you tweeze them up. Here, I tweeze them out, like into this direction. and here I tweeze them also out but slightly down. So here you tweeze them out and up, out and down, because they almost go into little, like a little pointed shape, like they grow not all in the same direction. That's what I want to say. So what I do now is I just take my tweezers and start tweezing away all of the hair that's here in the center. The new one's really good tweezers because obviously we drew with a wax-based kind of product on it, so your tweezers just really need to grab, otherwise you just pull on them but you actually don't tweeze them out. And you can always pull on your brow to kind of like get tension onto the skin. I also have a tissue ready, so you can just wipe off some of that liner as well as the hairs that might get stuck onto your tweezers. Now if you're a guy following this tutorial, don't tweeze on the top too much because that obviously makes it a little bit more feminine looking, and don't do quite as much of a arch look. I personally just like it for doing makeup looks on myself. So next thing, we're going to make sure that the hairs are not too long. So you take a spoolie and you brush them all up. Sorry, I'm right-handed. So you brush them up in the front and out. And then what you want to do is you take a pair of scissors. I like those, so they're like lash scissors. They're just really tiny as well as very sharp. So I just brush them up here in the front, and then I take my scissors and I just make sure that they don't go over the line that pretty much finishes the top of my eyebrows. Does that make sense? Like when I comb them up, I don't want them to be much higher here because otherwise it will look crazy, and especially as a man I do get like really long brows. And then I do the same just here in the back. So make sure that the front hair don't go much higher. If you want that more bushy feathery look, you can do it a little bit, but then also make sure that the tail is not growing further out here. And last but not least, let's fill them in to see how it will look like with makeup on and cleaned up. So the first thing I personally like to do is just take my regular brow pencil. This one is from MAC in the color Brunette, and then it has a spoolie on one end and then the pen on the other side, but I'm actually not using it everywhere. I'm using it more at the end because that's where I want the most definition. And one tip that I can give you if you guys have lower brows or more straight brows, focus the product more on the top part of your actual eyebrow and keep that bottom part a little bit more empty. This way it looks naturally more like you have an arch. Next, I'm using the Shape and Shade Brow Tint, and I'm using the powder side, and just fill in a little bit here between the hairs because I don't need too much precision right there, because I have fuller brows naturally. If you do have more sparse brows, just use that pen all over. Next, I want really volume to my hair, so I used the False Lash Maximizer. This is an eyelash primer, so use a lash primer but in your brows. It will give just more thickness to the hair, so I'm using it mostly in the front, and it's also like a gel, so it will keep the brows in the direction you brush them. Obviously it leaves a white kind of like residue, but we take care of that in a second. Next, because I do like this more almost like microbladed look, like very like defined hair stroke kind of look, I'm using the liquid side of the Shape and Shade Brow Tint and brush just a couple of hairs in between because I want that front more soft looking. I don't want it to be super bulky. It's not really a very modern look to have that front part super drawn in. Last, for like the colored products, I'm using the Eyebrow Gel from MAC. This one has fibers inside, so it clings to the hair, and it gets also rid if there's any white residue from the Eyelash Primer. And honestly, on a really lazy day, you can just take this by itself and it will create fuller brows because it has those fibers inside. And last but not least, we're taking a concealer with a flat brush, something like this one here. This one is the 212 by MAC, and this is really just to clean up any mistakes. So I'm just using a little bit on the brush. Obviously we'll give a little bit more of a drawn on look to it, but that's what I like. And I'm not using it to, on the top, I'm just using it on the bottom. So as you can see, I used it on the tail end, on the top, and then just on the bottom, and now I'm just taking a fluffy brush and blend this out. And so now obviously it looks very drawn on because I don't have anything else on. But if you do this in combination with a full face of makeup, it will give you a very polished eyebrow look, and you look just really well taken care of and maintained. So that is the final eyebrow. Alright guys, and this is the end of this tutorial. I will do the other side off camera. You don't have to stay for that. But that's pretty much how I do a full, groomed brow look, and then obviously filled it in for makeup. If you just want to, groom it and then don't fill it in for a natural look, you can obviously do that. But that's how I do get my brow snatched. If you like this video, please do me a couple of favors. First one, like it, obviously. And then please subscribe to this YouTube channel and ring the little bell so you get notified whenever I upload. I see the numbers of people who subscribe and they don't. So please support me, I'm in lockdown. I need your support. And I try to really hope to give you videos that are entertaining, but at the same time also educational, because, we have a lot of big personalities already on YouTube, and it's sometimes just good to see good old content creators who teach actually about makeup. I also give you a little sneak peek because next week I will have a new video coming up, and it's a haul. Who has seen a haul video? Like, when was that? Who's like living in 2014? I do. Yeah, a haul video that I purchased a couple of new products. I'm excited to show you. And that's pretty much it for today. So thank you again for watching today's video. I really appreciate you. And until I see you next time, as always, stay safe and wash your hands. Bye bye.